founder of Modem Social Selling Agency, and today we are going to talk about LinkedIn personal branding with AI. And thank you so much for joining me and my team today, because I've seen that there are so many people from different countries, from around the world. And this is just amazing that everyone has joined from, from your part of our huge planet. So let's do it. First of all, a little bit about myself. I'm Olga Bondareva, and I'm the founder of the social selling and LinkedIn marketing agency. And I actually run my own agency for 6 years already. And before that, I worked at Microsoft, and I was responsible for social media in Central and Eastern Europe region. So there, I first actually learned about social selling, LinkedIn marketing, LinkedIn personal branding, because I wanted to develop the employees' personal profiles, because it was very important. Then we could distribute some content through the employees' profiles. And then I started working with we called it like customer facing roles. It means that like sales managers, account managers, business development managers, and some other people who communicate with clients directly. And my goal was to develop their LinkedIn profiles, to help them, to teach them how to do it. And actually, this is how I started working with social selling as a method and LinkedIn as a platform very actively. And when I started my own agency, I first positioned it as a social media marketing agency, but then I realized that social selling topic is very hot and many people want, actually really interested, many companies are interested in developing their employees' personal profiles. Why? Because especially in B2B segment, it builds trust, right? And it's very important to demonstrate expertise, to demonstrate personalities from the company, not only the brand and brand pages. It's very important to show people who work at the company. And actually, the approach we use in our agency is called social selling. This is about building expert social media profiles to acquire potential clients, partners, or employees. So we are developing personal profiles, but for business goals. Of course, if you, for example, don't have any business goals, you have only your personal or career goals, my content will be relevant to you as well. Maybe without lead generation part, but it's just the last one. But the rest of it, I will be talking about your positioning on social media, content creation, target audience growth, and networking with target audience representatives. And then a little bit about lead generation and some other interesting tips. So I believe it will be relevant to you as well, even if you don't have any business goals related to your LinkedIn profile and you have only your personal goal. It's also great. Actually, before we continue, I would like to ask you, could you please share in the comments what kind of goals do you have? Why do you want to develop your LinkedIn profile? Maybe you want to attract new clients, new partners, or employees, or maybe find a new job, or just build your network in a new country, in a new place, in a new industry, or something like that. So please share it with us, and we'll come back to it a little bit later. Uh, and I will just check the comments. Actually, yeah, we have more people from Canada, from Russia, from some other countries. So thank you. Yeah, thank you for joining us. And yeah, let's continue. Please share your goals. Why do you need to develop your LinkedIn profile? So our approach, which is called social selling, is based on lead nurturing. It means that usually B2B clients and B2B partners, they are not ready to buy, and we need to nurture them, nurture our relationships with them. How we do it? First, we start with connecting with these people on social media, on LinkedIn in our case. We send them connection requests, and then we become a part of their connection connections. And of course, we need to regularly post on LinkedIn and generate demand. Just demonstrating your expertise, demonstrating your company's case studies or something else, and your personality. Of course, it's very important to show your personality because it will help you to build trust. So what's the next thing? Next step, we need to, of course, interact with these people. If we only broadcast content and we don't do any interactions, it doesn't work this way. Like commenting, liking, endorsing skills, and some other activities are very, very important on LinkedIn. And of course, your audience expects that you will interact with them and you will build relationships. And then when you build relationships, generate regular content, of course, you can also jump to the more, like selling conversation with people, but in a very, maybe you can do it in different ways. For example, you can do it in a softer manner, like you can start offering some valuable content, invite people to events, or something like that. Or you can use just direct selling messages. It also can work, and you need to test it because it depends on different things. For example, it could depend on your market you work at, I mean, country, industry, and job positions, and some other things. So it's very important to test different hypotheses and choose the best ones. And of course, our goal is to agree to have calls or meetings with your potential clients, partners, or someone else. Even if you are looking for a new job, it should be your goal because it's very important to build your network. And of course, you communicate with people on LinkedIn, but it's very important to agree to have calls with them or meetings, because only in this kind of relationships, deeper relationships, you can benefit from it, because people can recommend you to some companies, can somehow help you. So even if you don't have a business goal and your personal goal, this algorithm still works. And what kind of mechanics we use in social selling? As I mentioned already, we use social media posts. We comment and react to the content. We endorse skills of our target audience representatives. Probably it sounds a little bit weird. How can we endorse skills of someone we don't know and we haven't worked with? But on LinkedIn, it's a good way how we can just interact in a soft manner with people. They can say just thank you for endorsing my skills, and you will start your conversation with these people. So here is the opportunity to start a conversation. And of course, the personal messages are the key, where the magic happens, because only in personal messages you can agree to have some next steps. Like you can negotiate a call or meeting or plan something together. Because if you don't reach out to people in personal messages, you just lose a lot of opportunities. If you just publish posts and that's it, if you don't do it. But if you do, you can actually get a lot of meetings, a lot of useful conversations with people. So, and you can achieve your business goals. This is why these aspects are very important. And as a bonus in social selling, we do live streams like this one. So actually, this is also a good tool for you to demonstrate your expertise and demonstrate your personality as well, because people can see you, not just read your posts, and it's very important too. So these mechanics we usually use. And of course, our main platform for social selling is LinkedIn. Why LinkedIn? Of course, this is the business social media platform, and it's a very important platform for networking and lead generation and job search. So there are so many things you can do on LinkedIn. And actually, LinkedIn is a platform where you can connect with new people you didn't know before. And it's completely appropriate, because if you, for example, connect with people and even send them messages, it's okay on LinkedIn. Everyone is building their network, and it's normal. It doesn't feels like something, I don't know, rude or something else. But if you do it on Facebook, for example, or on any other platform like Instagram, it feels much less comfortable comparing to LinkedIn, where people kind of ready for that. So this is why LinkedIn is the main platform, and it gives us the best results. And actually, coming to our AI topic, why we use AI for social selling, it's pretty simple, because without AI, it takes much more time. And especially if you develop your profile without any help, without the help of agencies or freelancers, people usually procrastinate doing things. Like they procrastinate growing their audiences, creating content, and some other things like messaging people. But using AI, you can just overcome these creative blocks and actually speed up your activities and become more productive. Because it's always very difficult when you're sitting and you're trying to do something from scratch, right? It's very difficult to do something like without any basis, and AI can give you this kind of basis. But of course, maybe you think that this basis is not perfect, but still it will be much easier if you have something comparing to the situations when you don't have any, I don't know, anything to rely on first. I can see some comments, and some people would like to find new jobs using LinkedIn. And yeah, if you continue sharing your uh, goals, why you're developing your profile, it would be interesting to learn more about it. So let's continue with AI, how we can use AI for social selling, and what kind of tools and prompts we can use, because I've prepared a lot of, I hope, useful information for you. So how to do it? First, we start with our positioning on social media. Actually, this is the first step and the most important step, how to actually position yourself on LinkedIn, on other social media platforms, what kind of personal brand you will use, you will broadcast to the audience. And of course, this personal brand should be realistic. And how to, what you can do here. First, with AI, you can generate your positioning strategy from scratch and actually, based on that, plan some other activities. What else you can do? You can save your custom settings in ChatGPT based on your positioning, and ChatGPT will know who you are, what kind of positioning you have, what kind of goals you have, and based on that, it will work more like it will work smarter and will suggest you more relevant answers. So first, how to establish your profile positioning. Actually, first of all, I will be showing a lot of prompts today. And of course, it's very difficult to use them if I'm showing them just on the screen. Uh, Actually, you can visit my LinkedIn profile, Olga Bondareva, and find these prompts in my featured section. I have a 100 slides presentation there in my featured section, so you can find it. And of course, we will share it after our webinar together with the recording. So you'll have everything. If you need to use it in the future, you can just check my slides or just watch the video again. So it will be very easy. So coming back to your positioning, here you can use a very simple prompt like create a positioning strategy for Olga Bondareva's personal brand. And here I'm giving some details of what I do and actually what kind of topics I work with, I'm interested in, and a little bit about my previous experience and a little bit about my personal, I don't know, personal interests, my situation. That, for example, I have a husband and daughter and 2 cats, and some other things that you think are important to show on social media, to share publicly, and I get a result. Of course, here I get a lot of interesting ideas, like interesting topics I can just use maybe in the content, etc. So I can maybe find some new ideas here, but of course, if I don't like something, I just don't use it. And actually, the second prompt, which is even better than previous one, because previous one was very simple. This one is based on the mentioning the expert. Actually, probably you know Jack Trout. He's actually the creator of the positioning concept. And Jack Trout has his own head. Actually, he's not with us right now, but he created this positioning concept and his own methodology. This is why we can use his name in the prompt and get even better positioning strategy. And of course, I used the same information about myself. And what I get actually very structured positioning strategy for my personal brand, starting with positioning statement, key attributes, target audience, unique selling proposition, brand pillars, and everything what I need. Actually, I would recommend using this reference in your prompt, and you will get a very structured positioning strategy. What I like about it, I like actually that it includes my personal and professional roles, and it's very important that my personal brand will be unique and uh, actually just very sincere, I think, because it's based on my personality. And what else you can do, especially if you use ChatGPT a lot, like actively, you can set up custom instructions. Just click on your avatar, on your name and last name, add ChatGPT, and choose custom instructions. And there, ChatGPT will offer you to add some information. Like you can add some information about your positioning in here, because ChatGPT would like to learn more about you to provide better results, better responses. And also, you can give ChatGPT some, I don't know, some tips and tricks on how to talk to you. I mean, should it use more official tone of voice, or more conversational one, or maybe use emojis or something else? So you can play with it and just notice how your results from ChatGPT change with the information you've added. So yeah, you can use your positioning here. When we actually created our LinkedIn positioning and we know who we are on social media, what kind of personal brand we are going to broadcast to our audiences on social media, on LinkedIn, we need to design our profile according to our positioning. How to do it? First, we'll talk about generating business style profile pictures. Then we will be talking about generating some profile descriptions, profile headline, and something related to it. So let's start with the profile picture. Of course, many people have their own professional profile pictures. Maybe they plan some a photo shoot with a photographer, and they already have some pictures they could use. But what if you don't have a personal profile I mean, a professional, beautiful profile picture? If everything you've got is just your selfies, yeah, nothing else, you can do it. Of course, there are a lot of platforms. You can just pay them, I don't know, usually it's from like 30 or 20 bucks to $50. So you can pay them and they will generate business pictures for you. There are so many platforms like that. And I found a lot of them. But I was just interested, how can I do it with just my Midjourney subscriptions? I'm paying this $10 per month for this subscription, and it should do it. Why not? And I was trying to find some maybe instructions, tutorials, how to do it in Midjourney. And I found one, and here's the video. You can also find it in my slides, in my featured section on my LinkedIn profile, and we'll share it after the webinar. So you'll find this link to the detailed instruction on YouTube. But if just describe it shortly, you need to visit the website pixie.ai and add an inside face swap bot to your Discord server. It sounds a little bit complicated. If it's very complicated to you, just use some other platforms. There they can be easier, but of course more expensive. And then you can upload your photo, just any photo, and also you need to generate some just any business pictures using Midjourney, and you can just swap faces using inside swap face swap bot. How how can you do it? Yeah, we already discussed, but what can you get? Actually, it depends on the picture you generate in Midjourney at the beginning, because if you generate a very realistic picture on Midjourney, of course you will get the better result at the end. But my initial picture in Midjourney is not such a realistic one, so this is why my result is a little bit artificial, but still it looks almost like me. So even especially if I smile like this, yeah. So I can probably use it. And what's important that I used some words in the prompt that describe my hairstyle. Of course, it's different, but still, it's a little bit similar to my real hairstyle. But if you'd like to try something else, like new hairstyle, new color, or just anything else, you can also do it, and it will be funny. And the second example, also I've generated a picture at Midjourney and just swapped the faces, and I've got a picture of myself. Yeah, here you can see it. Probably she looks like me, but probably not exactly, but still very similar to my picture. So let's continue. Let's continue. When we have a profile picture ready, in this case, we need to generate your profile headline. And headline also can work on the base of your LinkedIn profile. Sorry, your headline can be generated with AI. And you can use some prompts, like, for example, you can use some best practices on what kind of headlines you can generate, what kind of structure you can have. And actually, based on our agency best practices, it's important to start with your position, add company and some short description and keywords. And after that, of course, if you have some, I don't know, companies you worked at, like great companies, large brands, well-known brands, in this case, you can, of course, mention these companies like X Microsoft, like me, or something else. And actually, it's very important to use like position and a company in your profile headline, because many people, they don't do it, and it just looks a little bit like they are selling something, because they are, for example, they have these headlines like I'm helping people, blah blah blah, or achieving something, blah blah blah, and it feels they are selling, or they are consultants, and they will be eventually selling your someone something. And if you just use a normal headline like position at company, in this case, it will look much more natural on LinkedIn, and it will be, you will be just a normal LinkedIn person, and others will connect with you. So use this phrase, optimize them for LinkedIn search, because if you don't use it, if you don't optimize, if you don't actually tell ChatGPT or Claude or other neural network to optimize your headlines for LinkedIn search, in this case, neural networks become very creative, and they just generate some crazy things like magician or something, or something else. So we don't need this kind of creativity. We need normal headlines, usual headlines, which will look great on LinkedIn. And actually, here I experimented with two neural networks. First one was ChatGPT, and the second one was Claude AI. And we'll see which one is better actually. And first, let's look at the Claude results. Here, I'm showing you like 16 options, and I like only 5 out of 16. And I actually could use these 5 options in my profile, and I think that these headlines are good, they are okay, I could use them. So the next one, actually here we are testing Claude AI, and Claude AI, here 8 options out of 16 are good, and I like them, and I could use them in my profile. Because actually Claude, I think that it speaks more natural language than ChatGPT, and you can use it. You can actually do something with that and try to generate some text or try to generate some profile headlines. For me, it speaks much better language, much more natural than ChatGPT, because, of course, when you generate something with ChatGPT, you already know what kind of phrases, what kind of words are like natural for ChatGPT, and this platform actually has this its own style that you probably don't want to see, for example, in your content, in your descriptions. But Claude speaks more natural language. Also, you can use LinkedIn AI assistant. It works in your LinkedIn Premium if you have one. And actually, let's just try it. Let's just see what it will generate. Here, I've generated 3 options, and I don't really like them because they are shorter. Of course, maybe it's good that they are short, but they don't reflect my experience, my regalia, and what I would like to show. This is why, of course, I would prefer the Claude results, not LinkedIn AI results. And also, of course, you can generate some other sections descriptions, like about section description or experience sections descriptions with ChatGPT and Claude. And I would recommend just generate it on various platforms and compare the results. And maybe you will even combine different results and get your own one. Let's just look at the about section prompt. So here it's important that we just give a certain structure of the about section to ChatGPT or to Claude AI, because it's important to be very specific with neural networks and to give them some of your best practices and structures, how to answer, and maybe what kind of words, what kind of phrases they should avoid. Why it's important? Because if you don't do it, neural networks, they're like our collective mind, our collective consciousness or unconsciousness. And of course, they just suggest some cliche options, and you don't want cliches. You want something more, I don't know, more unique, more original, and more interesting. And if you just ask ChatGPT, for example, to just create an about section for me, it will be boring and cliche section and description. So we would recommend to be more specific in your prompts. So you can do it this way, for example, and you can get some results. Like the actually ChatGPT result, it's pretty standard, but it's good. And Claude results, it's also nothing like very, I don't know, funny, interesting, but still it's a good result with quite a natural language. So I like it and I could use it. And actually, I used the third neural network, Perplexity AI, and it also generated quite okay about section result. And I like it a little bit less than Claude AI, but you can also try Perplexity. And I've tried LinkedIn AI tools, and I actually didn't like what LinkedIn generated, but you can also try. And the idea here is that you can try various neural networks and compare the results. For example, you can try Perplexity AI, Claude AI, ChatGPT, LinkedIn AI, and maybe some other tools, some other platforms, neural networks, you can try them. and compare the results, or maybe combine your own monster of Frankenstein, yeah, and create your own about section or maybe something else. So you can do it this way. And when you already have your LinkedIn positioning, your uh, profile designed well, it's brilliant, we need to constantly create content. But before we jump to content, I would like to answer to some questions. We actually have a couple of questions. First question is um, from Elmira. We have two LinkedIn profiles, mine, founder, and our startup. How to split the content between them? And maybe double lead generation using both of them. So about working with your founder's profile and your company's profile, they could work together in a synergy, because actually it's great if, for example, a company can support your employees' profiles and employees could support your company's content. And here, actually, you if you work in B2B, I don't know. Actually, Elmira, do you work in B2B or not? But if you do, I would focus mostly on personal profiles, not company profiles. This is why most of your content should be related to your founder's experience and personality, and of course, experience of the company and case studies and expertise. And some of this content that fits to a company page can be just duplicated without creating anything from scratch. So you can save budgets and don't create anything specific for a company page, because you can just reuse the same content for the company page and for the personal page. But of course, personal content will be more unique. You will generate more content, and of course you will feature a personality in this kind of content. In terms of lead generation, of course, it works much more effective from a personal profile, because people would like to talk to people and they would like to, for example, communicate in personal messages with other people and to agree to have a call or meeting. Of course, if you send messages, it's actually impossible on LinkedIn. If you send messages from a company page, it would just be weird and it would be considered as spam. This is why, of course, personal profiles are important. But you can use your company profile to run ads, like paid ads, and generate some leads from it. And also you can organize LinkedIn live events like we do, and also generate some contacts from it, because people register, you can get their emails, so you can follow up on them after your webinars. So you can do it. We have some more questions, but we'll come back to them after the next section. So AI for content creation. Content creation, here we have a lot to discuss. First, we would like to discuss generating content ideas with AI, then creating posts based on someone else's content. Oh my God, actually, it's not about stealing, it's about creating posts in a summary format based on someone else's content, rewriting content in a more engaging style. Creating unique content with AI, actually, just it's not about, of course, writing with AI without any personal touch, without any manual work. It's not about that. It's a little bit different, and I will cover it. Also, enriching content with facts and data with Perplexity AI, and of course, translating and proofreading if you are not a native speaker like I am. I usually use AI and some other tools to translate and proofread to make sure that my content is grammatically correct. So first, how to generate content ideas using AI. Of course, you need to give AI some context about yourself, who you are, what kind of professional, maybe duties you have, what kind of personal things like hobbies or interests you have. And we ask AI to actually generate professional topics, personal topics, and topics at the intersection of personal and professional. Because I think it's important that your content is not only 100% professional, it's important to show your personality. And this is how you build trust. Actually, we've got three sections of the different topics, like professional, personal, and intersection between personal and professional. And of course, probably you will not like all of them, but you can use them as ideas. Maybe you will like some of them, and if you do, just use them, because it's much better than just creating topics from scratch. It's very difficult sometimes to, I know, to make something up, or to have some great ideas. And here, LinkedIn like AI can help you to find some topics for your LinkedIn profile. Also, you can generate topic ideas based on your positioning strategy. And here we generated already a long positioning strategy based on the Jack Trout's methodology, and we can use it in a prompt and generate some topic ideas. For example, I've got a lot of topics ideas for my positioning, and some of them I like and some of them I don't really like, but still I can use some of them. And I especially like the one about Throwback Thursday Microsoft Edition, where I could, for example, share some of my like stories from my experience at Microsoft. It could be just fun and interesting to tell stories, to demonstrate my expertise. And sometimes I do, of course, not every Thursday, but sometimes I share something like that. And I like some other ideas, and I'll use some of them in my profile. Also, if you'd like to be like non-standard and find something interesting, I asked ChatGPT to generate some non-standard ideas, like for AI topic. And here it generated some ideas like about AI and mental health, AI and agriculture, AI and wildlife. So these topics are non-standard and interesting. And actually, you can, if this is your topics, if you're talking about AI in some interesting industries and spheres, of course, you can use something like that. It's not about me, it's not for me, but yeah, I can generate something else, something non-standard in my industry. Also, when I ask AI to generate some viral topics, it generates a little bit different ones. For example, not like healthcare or something like that, but just very broad topics like AI in everyday life, AI humor and memes, AI fails, and some other things. So here, of course, these topics are interesting for many people, especially AI fails and memes. This is why they can become viral. They have the potential to become viral. So this is why AI suggests these kind of topics to me. And also, what I like about Perplexity AI, actually, this is a platform where you can find some really fresh data from very respected sources. Like, for example, I like when I can find some interesting data, interesting statistics from recent research, like from Forrester Research, BCG, Edelman, or I don't know, some other analytics agencies, analytics companies. And I really like that, and I can use this kind of information in my content. And before Perplexity, I could just spend about like 2 hours just to find some good statistics, just to find something fresh and interesting. But with Perplexity, I can do it in just 5 minutes. I can find great data and interesting research. I can just focus on and create posts about it. And actually, people on LinkedIn, they like it. They like data, they like facts, they like statistics, and of course, they like some respectful sources like Forrester and some other sources. So yeah, you can just find it very easily and create content about it. The next way how you can create content is you can do it on the base of someone else's content. Actually, it's not, I would like to repeat that it's not about stealing content, right? It's about creating some summary format posts. What I'm talking about. For example, you saw a post of some influencers. It's a very detailed post and you really like it. Or you read some articles, or you watched a video of someone and you would like to talk about it. You would like to share some information about it. And you can just create a post describing this content. And of course, you mention the author, you mention the source, and you're just sharing your thoughts, maybe, and just describing what you recently saw or and what you like about it. Or maybe you disagree with that and you are describing why you are disagreeing with this kind of opinion. Actually, how you can do it with this prompt, like create a LinkedIn post in a summary format based on the post below. Yeah, you just uh, give neural networks the author name, the post text, and ask to do it. And you'll get a pretty good post in a summary format, and you can use it. Of course, your content shouldn't be only shouldn't consist only of this kind of posts in a summary format. You need to have some of your unique content as well, of course, but sometimes you can do it this way because if you share something interesting, something valuable with your audience, they will be grateful for that. So also, as I mentioned before, you can use some different opinion in your prompt. Of course, if you do have your own different opinion, just put it in the prompt. But if you don't, I just asked ChatGPT to just disagree with the author and provide some arguments. And actually, it did it. But of course, maybe I don't like everything about it. Maybe I disagree with disagreeing of ChatGPT. In this case, of course, I will change it and I will add my own thoughts. But if you don't have any thoughts in this case, of course, ChatGPT will be very helpful. What else you can use? You also can use, I like some plugins and GPTs for ChatGPT Premium. And here you can use, this is actually one of my favorite plugins. It's called Vox Scripts, and Vox Script can help you to actually create something based on videos on YouTube and some other materials. And here, what I like most, that I can just give it a video link, and it will generate a post based on this video, or generate something else like text or something else. And actually, what can I say to ChatGPT, to this plugin? I can tell that please create a short post in a summary format based on the video below. Start by referring to this video and mentioning that I've recently watched it. And of course, we need to mention a speaker, and we need to make it conversational and interesting for the audience. Here also, I would like to just tell you that I've used a reference here, and this reference is Urban Dictionary style. Actually, I hate Urban Dictionary because if you find any word in Urban Dictionary, you just spoil everything for yourself. You will you won't want to use this word anymore because it spoils everything. It has some bad articles about everything. But Urban Dictionary actually has its own, I would say, unique and engaging style. And this is why if you're using this like name of this dictionary in the reference, you will get a very engaging post like mine. It mentions like some serious knowledge bombs, some just funny phrases, it's not just a buzz, something like that. So it's very conversational, it's funny. Of course, it depends on your tone of voice that you usually use. and which is comfortable to you. But if you are a conversational kind of person, yeah, you'd like something funny, something informal, so yeah, in this case you can use this reference. And actually, just use references in your prompts. It's very obvious that people use references in Midjourney and other visual neural networks. And it's just, I think that everyone tried to create a content in your favorite artist style, like Salvador Dali or someone else. And of course you did it because it's just obvious. But for texts, it's not so obvious. And I would recommend using references. For example, you can create content in, I don't know, Harvard Business Review style, in Urban Dictionary style, in Reddit style, in something else. For example, I recently read an article in New York Times, and I liked the journalist. She actually, her tone of voice was very funny and conversational and interesting, and I used her name as a reference for neural networks, and it was, I've got quite interesting results. It was very conversational post. It was interesting, and yeah, just you can just find the references that work for you, that you really like, and that have maybe very similar tone of voice that as you do, and you can use them, and you can create your content much faster if you find these kind of references. I asked Perplexity because Perplexity gives us some sources. I've asked it to suggest me some AI influencers. Could use their names as references for some posts, and it suggested some people, some famous influencers in AI topic. And of course, if you create some content, you can try these references or maybe some other references you like, and try creating your content. Also, you can create unique content with AI, but I wouldn't recommend just creating it from scratch, like asking ChatGPT or Claude AI, please write a post for me from scratch. No, it's not a good idea because it will be actually harmful for your reputation, because people will notice that this is a completely 100% generated content. It's not your unique content. But if you do it based on your audio and based on your transcript, it will work well. So what you can do, you can record an audio and transcribe it first. You can use, for example, descript.com, or you can use some other transcription tools like in Telegram, Messenger, or somewhere else. You probably know several of them. And then, for example, I've done it in Descript, and my transcript was really, I don't know, really raw, because I had some 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 sounds like that. So and the language was very conversational, and of course it wasn't a prepared speech. It was just, I don't know, just chaotic transcript, nothing else. And I asked neural networks to create a post based on my transcript. And actually, I like what Claude did, because Claude used a more natural language, and it created quite structured and clear posts. And I like the language, I like the structure, I like everything. It's much better than my transcripts. So you can do it this way. And actually, but I don't have a lot of maybe facts and data in this post, but it's because I didn't give it to AI. It wasn't in my transcript. I didn't share any specific story or didn't give any certain numbers or something like that. So I didn't do it. This is why it's quite like not specific, quite abstract. What I can do, I can enrich my content with some specific data and facts using Perplexity. And here I can just ask Perplexity to give me some statistics from respectful sources. And I can use these kind of statistics. For example, I like some data from Edelman, from PwC, and I can ask Claude AI to actually rewrite these posts and to include this data, include these statistics to my text, and to make it more, like to enrich it with content, with some interesting data, with numbers, because LinkedIn audience likes it. So I can do it as well. And of course, if you are not a native speaker, you can use some various prompts like to proofread your content and to check grammar. And usually ChatGPT and some other neural networks, they help with that. They highlight your mistakes, they rewrite your content, and it can be very helpful and time saving, especially, for example, if you need to write an email and do it very fast, and or a LinkedIn post or something like that, you can just check it, because even if you're a native speaker, you can make some mistakes. No one just is perfect, right? And this is why you can use it and check your post language, or you can translate from one language to another if you'd like to. For example, your native language is not English and you would like to create content in English because it's LinkedIn, everything is in English. Of course, not everything, but still, we have a lot of content on LinkedIn in English. And especially if you'd like to build your international career or international business, you will need it. And if it's easier for you to write, for example, in Spanish or in Arabic or in Russian or in some other languages, of course, you can do it and translate with ChatGPT or some other neural networks. It will be easier for you if you usually write in some other languages. So before we go to networking activities, I will check some questions. Maybe we have more questions. Yeah, the next question, or like the discussional comments, is about if someone I do not know endorses my skill sets, about skills endorsing, they lose credibility in my eyes, as I feel they are prepared to make false endorsements just to start a conversation with me. Of course, it depends on the person, but most people, they just say thank you, and they feel they are just grateful when someone endorses their skills. Of course, it can be suspicious. It means that you would like to, I don't know, maybe connect to this person. You would like to um, somehow reach out to this person, but still, it's not something negative for most of people. And the next question is about how can I find leads on LinkedIn, and what will be the best approach to reach out to the client. Yeah, we'll get to this topic very soon. And the next questions, aren't there any free AI photo generators? I don't know any free AI photo generators. I know only the way how to do it for free with your Midjourney subscription, and some other AI photo generators. Of course, they are paid. And actually, I don't know anything that you can use for free. If someone knows, please just share in the comments. It would be really interesting and useful for our participants if you know something like that. So let's jump to networking activities and lead generation after networking. So what we can discuss here: commenting on interesting people posts, starting networking conversations, personalizing your messages, and crafting lead generation messages, and wait for it, psychological AI. Actually, and this is the most interesting thing, to my opinion. So yeah, wait for it. So commenting on interesting people's posts, it's very simple, because you can just find an interesting post of influencers or potential clients, partners, or potential employer you would like to comment on. And you can ask neural networks to help you with that. And for example, I like the Claude AI results much more than Chat GPT's. So it speaks more natural language. So I would recommend just ask Claude Please prepare the short comment for this LinkedIn post and make it conversational. Use some simple words. And of course, you can just edit it manually, because everyone, I think, people, they don't like AI generated comments, of course. But this is why I would strongly recommend generating comments, um, but don't use them just without any editing. Please edit them manually, and it's very important, and actually in this case AI will be your friend, because it saves you time, and it's very difficult to generate something from scratch. But if you already have a result, it's much easier and it takes less time. Just if you just edit it and create something like based on your opinion and based on AI generated content. But don't use just AI generated comment without any editing. So the next idea is that you can actually, usually people, when they comment each other, they don't comment the whole posts. They just pick some ideas, some thoughts that trigger them. That, for example, they have an opinion only on just one phrase in your post, not all of it. And this is why we can use a little bit different tactic. We can ask Claude, for example, or other neural networks. We can give it like, here's the post, here the fragment or paragraph I would like to comment on. Please comment based on this paragraph only, because, for example, this paragraph just triggers me and I would like to comment on that. It just actually looks more natural on LinkedIn than just commenting the overall post. What else you can do? It's important, as we already mentioned, the magic happens in personal messages. You can agree to have next steps, like have a call, meeting, or something else. So how to start networking conversation with AI? You can ask neural networks to generate messages based on some information about this certain person. You can give it their headline, their about section, and ask to generate a message. And what I usually ask neural networks to avoid like some cliche phrases like, I came across your profile, I noticed, I hope, something like that, because it's pretty standard and people feel that it's like cliche phrases. It's not something like interesting, conversational, informal. Of course, it's better to avoid these kind of phrases. And I'm also giving some information about myself, because it can be useful. And at the end, I get an interesting result where actually pretty simple and um, short message that I can use. But actually, it's interesting that Claude here hallucinates a little bit, because Claude made up a recent AWS community call that we we just attended together, but we didn't. I didn't attend any recent AWS community call, so it can hallucinate. Especially Claude. ChatGPT is better in terms of hallucinations right now. This is why you need to double check, for sure, double check it manually. Also, you can create some personalized messages based on the posts. For example, I'm giving some headline information, I'm giving some instructions, what kind of phrases neural networks should avoid. And of course, I give some information about myself and I give the post text, because actually if a person create some content, posts on LinkedIn, it's a good way to personalize your message based on this content. And I like actually the Chat GPT results. I like it very much, because it was about like first about topic of working on Saturdays. So this is from the post of this person, and like some informal things, some just human things you can mention first, And then you jump to professional topics and we talk about ourselves. And then we just tell that we are looking forward to connecting and exploring synergies and something like that. So it's a nice message, I think. Of course, it's not perfect. You can edit it manually, but it's a nice one to my mind, and you can use it. And what Claude created a little bit more formal message. It's not about it. It didn't start with working on Saturdays. It started with just, little bit formal facts that I noticed your posts about the upcoming event in San Diego, blah blah blah, and it's more like formal. Of course, you can just um, maybe experiment with different prompts, and you can, of course, get different results. But here, this is the only only situation when I liked ChatGPT results more than Claude results. So this is why I would recommend using and trying various neural networks and compare them. Also, if you like not only generate some networking conversations, but if you want leads, I would recommend one more plugin. It's called GPcheetah plugin. And actually, what you need to do, this is for ChatGPT, obviously, yeah. And what you need to do, you need to give it the link to your website. And as an answer, it gives you your value proposition, your ICP, ideal customer profile description, some data providers, buyer persona description, and actually some templates for LinkedIn and email messages. And you can just go step by step and get this information. Actually, I like it. And of course, sometimes it generates better results, sometimes the results are not so good. So you need to experiment and maybe generate it several times. What I like about it is that I've got some messages for actually various segments of my target audience, like a message for larger businesses, message for smaller businesses, and messages for each positions, like for marketing managers, for sales directors, or someone else. So I've got some messages. Of course, I can change them and I can edit them manually, but it's just time saving, that I can work on the base of something, not from scratch. This is much easier and faster. So, what else you can use? Now the clay tool is very popular, is becoming very popular, and you can enrich your company lists and build it using AI, because actually clay can just connect various sources of data and AI as well, and you can actually create very enriched company lists and use them in lead generation. For example, what you can do, what kind of prompts you can use: you can classify companies whether they are B2B or not. You can maybe assess whether this person is interested or probably could be interested in your services or in your product, and you can score people and connect with them with only with those who are like more likely will become interested in your services, right? Or you can suggest some main challenges of these people based on their job title, based on their descriptions. um, the main challenges you can actually solve, you can help them with. And for example, I've generated some messages actually based on the challenges of the particular person with on a certain position in a certain industry, with clay, because it's integrated with GPT, and you can generate actually messages, you can classify people, you can score your target audience representatives. So you can do really different things here. I would recommend you to try if you are generating leads on LinkedIn. And psychologically, I actually, yeah, I'm really excited about this topic, because Actually, psychological AI is something non-standard on LinkedIn, because usually when you do some networking activities or lead generation activities or something else, people don't think about psychological aspects. They think about the problems of this industry, the like some challenges of this person on the certain job positions, but no one adapts their messages to some psychological characteristics of this person. And there are two Google Chrome extensions you could use to actually explore the psychological characteristics of LinkedIn users. And I've tried it on several people I know in person, yeah, and I know their psychological characteristics, and what I would say is that it's pretty accurate. So just try it on people you already know, and just you'll decide whether it works well for you or not. But to my mind, it works quite great. So psychological AI. First, Chrome extension is called actually this way, psychological AI. And what it can give you, it can assess the language style match that this person, for example, could speak a more formal language or informal language, some psychological characteristics of this person, some values of this person, what's important to them, and some questions that could be important to this person, and you need to think about them and you need to answer them if you are communicating with this person. So what else psychological AI can give you? It can give you some actually message templates based on this person psychological characteristics, but I actually don't like the the messages it suggests. This is why I would recommend just use the information from psychological AI and ask some other neural networks to generate messages based on it. For example, Claude AI or Chat GPT, they generate better messages, or you can just edit it manually uh, because you just need a basis, for example, to speed it up. So you can do it this way. And the second Chrome extension is called Crystal AI. Actually, it's based on the disk typology, disk methodology. Probably, if you worked at large international companies, you've heard about disk. DISC, yeah, methodology and typology, because actually it's pretty popular among large companies, and they test their employees and explain how to work with people with different types, how to communicate with each other. Of course, every typology has its own limitations, and people are unique, and you can't just, I don't know, just classify them, mm, just name them with different tag them like name with different types. Of course not. People are unique, but and this is a simplification, and of course it's just to make it a little bit easier to navigate in the social world. Uh, just some scientists, some psychologists, they develop these kind of methodologies, and DISC is one of them. So I worked at Microsoft, and of course, I've done this test several times. And actually, Crystal is pretty accurate in terms of my results. And actually, I also invited a coach to my team, like in our agency team, to just to share a little bit about this typology, because I think that, of course, it's a simplification, but it helps sometimes to communicate with each other and communicate with clients and partners. So actually, it could be very useful to you to understand the type of the certain person. So it gives you some communication recommendations, how to communicate with this person, how to sell to this person. For example, you need to be enthusiastic, you need to be imaginative or something else, what you should do and what you shouldn't do, and actually, and what kind of messages you can create for this person. What should you talk about and what's important not to mention, for example. So you can just get some useful tips and tricks on how to communicate with these people. And Crystal also provides some message templates for various funnel stage, like for example, if you'd like to sell to me, or schedule a demo session, or negotiate something, or just, I don't know, organize a networking call. It suggests several templates, like message templates, but I don't really like them. This is why I would recommend also using this information and generating messages using like Chat GPT or Claude AI or something else. Just use this information from this psychological AI, or use these ideas and edit it manually. So this is how AI can assist you in all stage of social selling. We've discussed positioning and profile design, even your profile picture. We've discussed regular content, how AI can help you to become more productive on LinkedIn and other new social media networks. Um, of course, you can target your audience and do some networking activities, networking interactions using AI as well, because you can comment on the posts, you can send some messages to people, and of course, you can use AI for lead generation, and you can use psychological characteristics of people in your communication. So we discussed pretty everything. And the secret of social selling with AI is the more specific you are, the more effective, of course, you will be in your social selling. Because if you give some specific instructions to neural networks, you will get the good results. If you give some, I don't know, very abstract options, in this case you will get some cliches and you will not be happy with the results. This is why I will share these slides. You can find them in my profile, Olga Bondareva LinkedIn profile, in the featured section, and you can find all the prompts there. You can use them because these prompts, they contain our agency best practices and some certain instructions for ChatGPT or Claude AI or other neural networks. And it's very important to be very specific with AI. So I have some bonuses here, but before I'll jump to these bonuses, I will check for some questions. Actually, we have one more question about, hi, what is the best tool for image and text combination? Actually, I don't know the tools for image and text combination. We usually use them separately. For example, some ChatGPT or Claude for texts, and Midjourney, DALL-E, or some other platforms for images. But I know that ChatGPT starting implementing these kind of, but I'm not sure about the details right now. Yeah, but I know that they are implementing visual neural networks as well. And of course, there are some startups that they are basically AI models wrappers. Like they connect to GPT, they connect to DALL-E, they connect to some other like Claude, and on their platforms they create some interesting solutions, like for example solutions where you can generate content like both text and pictures. But I wouldn't actually highlight any of these platforms because it would be an ad. Just you can try to find something like AI platform for content creation, and you will find a lot of startups. They just collected all of it in the same place, like both text and pictures, and you can use it if it's easier for you. to use it all together, um, and work with this kind of startup. So okay, we can continue with some bonuses. I would like to say a couple of words about video content. You can generate video content. Of course, you can do it from scratch with new neural networks like Soren, something like that. But what I would like to talk about is about translating videos. For example, you have a video in Spanish or Russian or Arabic or some other languages, and you can translate it to English using 11 Labs. 11 Labs is actually, they have free plans, and you can try it for free, and you can translate your video to other languages. And it's actually amazing because there are so many influencers. For example, they usually speak one language, but because of neural networks, now they distribute content on YouTube, on Instagram, on some other platforms in various languages, and they become more and more popular. So they use just AI. Of course, you can use 11 Labs just to try it for free, and you can use HeyGen. Actually, HeyGen's results are more impressive because HeyGen actually also adapts to your lips moving, and it just looks absolutely natural, and it just imitates your voice, and you will have the same voice but you speak different language. It's just fascinating. It looks like you really speak it. So try HeyGen. HeyGen doesn't have any free plans, but if you need this kind of scenarios, I would say that it's better than 11 Labs, because 11 Labs doesn't um, doesn't adapt to your lips movements, and it's just translated, but with your voice as well. So it's also important, and you can use it. The second bonus, it's about LinkedIn Top Voice badge. How to get this badge? Actually, you can use it a little bit with AI help. So let's talk about it. First of all, I would like to say that this is about top community voice, because this kind of yellow or gold or brown badge, not the blue one, because blue badge is about LinkedIn. LinkedIn decides who gets it. But for these kind of community badges here, the community, meaning LinkedIn users, they decide who will get this kind of badge. So this is why it's quite easy to get it, actually. And what you can do, you need to choose your expert topic. And I have a link to the list of the topics. So if you just check my slides, you can find this link and just can choose your topic. You choose your topic, and then it's important to pick 3 articles in your chosen topic and answer them. The rule is you need to answer one article, one answer. It's important. It's an important rule. And it depends on if you become a part of top experts in this article, you will get a badge. If you are a top expert in 3 articles, you will get your badge. But how can you become a top expert? Actually, it's pretty simple and quite stupid algorithm, because it based on the number of reactions. If you have more reactions than others, if you are in the top 3 in the article, you will, of course, if you have more reactions, you will become a top expert, like one of the 3 top experts in the article. And if you become a top expert in 3 articles, you will get your badge pretty soon, in 24 88 48 hours. Usually our clients, they get these badges. So we actually got this badge for like about 30 plus clients already, even more already. And this algorithm, we just figured it out based on our experiments, and it works for us. It works very well, and clients get these badges. So I have a more detailed guide by the link. So if when you get my slides, you will find it and you can read it and you can try it. But I would recommend doing it because actually, if you have this badge, it's quite impressive for people and they connect with you. They can ask you to speak at some meetups, maybe, or webinars, or record a podcast together. So it's very good for your personal brand. This is why I would recommend getting this badge. I'll remind you of that. It looks like that. So how you can use AI for that? Actually, what I've done for some of my answers, I've just recorded the answers. It was easier for me. Transcripted them with Descript, or I use Telegram, for example. And uh, I ask neural networks to write short answers based on my transcript. So it's my opinion, it's my expertise, but I do it much easier, much more simple than I could do it completely manually. And actually, this is one of my answers. An example where I have 13 reactions of some people. They like my answer because it was based on my opinions and my experience. So actually, I have a bonus about how to measure social selling results, but I will be very quick in here because I understand that you're pretty tired already from this large presentation. So, of course, one of the metrics we could use is social selling index. You probably heard about it, and you can check yours following the link, linkedin.com/sales/SSI. You can check your social selling index, and it shows how actively you use the platform, what kind of scenarios you use, what kind of scenarios you don't use. And I like this slide from the Steve Carroll presentation from LinkedIn. He spoke at our conference and he shared actually some tips and tricks on, not tips and tricks, but actually what's included in each scale of social selling index. And you can just look at it in my slides and understand it better, and maybe you'll find something you are not doing now on LinkedIn, but you would like to do, you would like to implement these kind of activities. Of course, in social selling, we have so many different metrics, like outbound metrics, like when we are doing several activities, like connection rate or acceptance rate, response rate or reply rate, interest rate, and conversion rate when people become leads. And we have a lot of inbound metrics that are more about content and profile visits, like engagement rate, view rate, profile visits, and of course, social selling index is one of them as well. So thank you so much for being with us, being with me today. And I hope you're not so tired after this long presentation. So here's the QR code to my profile, and here's the link to my profile, and here is my email. If you have any questions or comments or feedback, please reach out to me. I would be glad to get some just information from you, some opinions or some questions. And if you have any questions, I would be happy to help. So yeah, please also, if you'd like to get my slides, if you registered on our event page on LinkedIn, you will get it because we'll send the recording, we'll send you the slides, and you'll get everything, so don't worry about it. But also you can find it on my LinkedIn page, Olga Bondareva. You can find it in the featured section of my profile. It's actually 100 plus slides presentation. You will find it, and you can use some prompts, some tips and tricks from it. So please use it. I would be glad if it's useful to you, and you'll become more productive on LinkedIn. You'll save some time, and you'll build your personal brand on the platform, and actually get some, I don't know, benefits from it, like find a job or new clients, partners, develop your business, develop your network. So good luck with all of that. Yeah, I wish you to become even more successful than you are now. Thank you. Thank you so much. Actually, yeah, I'm checking for some questions. We don't have more questions. This is why we are just stopping our stream for today. So we are organizing these events regularly. If you'd like to join some the next webinars, just follow our Modem Up page on LinkedIn, and you can follow me. You will be invited to the next webinars. So thank you so much. Have a good day. Bye.